Democrats are in trouble. If Uncle Trump succeeds in just the two things that I'm about to talk to you about today, just these two, Democrats don't stand a chance for at least the next 2 decades. I feel comfortable in saying that. And even when they are somewhat competitive again, it won't be the same Democrat Party of today. No way. No way. I got a couple of clips that I want to, quite a few clips actually, but two different topics that I want to talk about. In this first clip, we have Tulsi Gabbard. Trump had a cabinet meeting. Because he is transparent, it was televised. Everybody got to see. Obviously, Tulsi Gabbard is the director of national intelligence, and she goes on to talk about one important issue. And I'll just let Tulsi Gabbard take it away. Let's dive in.
Long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections. And lastly, we've been scanning. I've had over 100 people working around the clock to scan the paper around RFK, Senator Robert F. Kennedy's assassination, as well as Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. These have been sitting in boxes in storage for decades. They have never been scanned or seen before. We'll have those ready to release here within the next few days.
I mean, great news, right? Great news. I cannot argue with that. Securing the vote, right? Making sure our vote is, our voting system is secure. Getting rid of these machines and going to paper ballots. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. We've seen other countries get their voting done and counted within hours. Florida does it really darn well. Okay. But yeah, you just heard her. She's diving into this. And if Trump succeeds in going back to paper ballots and making sure that there is no fraud, zero chance of fraud in our elections, I don't see Democrats ever standing a chance. Just off that alone, right? And if some of you are like, rich voting machines, they're good. There's no issues with them. Trump's just a conspiracy theorist. Well, y'all know I always come with clips, baby. And this is the thing about Uncle Trump. Uncle Trump has taken a lot of Democrat ideas and brought them over to the Republican side of the aisle. Because Democrats used to agree that the machines are no good. And if you don't believe me, well, I'll just let some Democrats tell you for themselves.
Virginia just stopped using touchscreen computer voting because it's so vulnerable. Right. We need to look at all the voting machines. Every Secretary of State needs to be, assisted in making sure that they are not being hacked and attacked.
I continue to think that our voting machines are too vulnerable.
Researchers have repeatedly demonstrated that ballot recording machines and other voting systems are susceptible to tampering.
Even hackers with limited prior knowledge, tools, and resources are able to breach voting machines in a matter of minutes.
In 2018, electronic voting machines in Georgia and Texas deleted votes for certain candidates or switched votes from one candidate to another.
The biggest seller of voting machines is doing something that violates Cybersecurity 101, directing that you install remote access software, which would make a machine like that, a magnet for fraudsters and hackers.
These voting machines can be hacked quite easily.
You could easily hack into them. It makes it seem like all these states are doing different things, but in fact, 3 companies are controlling this.
It is the individual voting machines that pose some of the greatest risks.
There are a lot of states that are dealing with antiquated machines, right, which are vulnerable to being hacked.
Workers were able to easily hack into an electronic voting machine. It was possible to switch votes.
43% of American voters use voting machines that researchers have found have serious security flaws, including backdoors.
We know how vulnerable now our systems were. I know the hackathon that took place last year, where virtually every machine was broken into fairly quickly.
I actually held a demonstration for my colleagues here at the Capitol, where we brought in folks who, before our eyes, hacked election machines. those that are being used in many states.
Aging systems also frequently rely on unsupported software like Windows XP in 2000, which may not receive regular security patches and are thus more vulnerable.
Okay, y'all get the message. Y'all get the message. So anybody and everybody from Hillary Clinton to Amy Klobuchar to Kamala Harris and everybody in between. Yeah, they all were saying the same thing. These machines are hackable. Kamala Harris herself, you heard it out of her mouth. She brought people in and they hacked the machine right in front of her. Right in front of her. Those were her words. Her words. So anybody out here saying, well, that's a right-wing conspiracy theory. Trump's just lying. He's always talking about people stealing elections. No, Democrats were saying the exact same thing. The only reason why they're not saying anything now, because unfortunately they're smarter than Republicans and figured out, well, if we just take control of the systems, if we're just the ones running the show, what do you know? We can, tweak the numbers a little bit behind the scenes. Yeah. And if you think I'm making that up, here's Obama.
I would just like to know what you can say to reassure us that this election will not be rigged or stolen.
Well, I tell you what, it helps in Ohio that we got Democrats in charge of the machines.
I don't just talk out of my ass. I got the clips to back it up. Sometimes I may not be able to recall where I found the clip, where I saw it and whatnot, but I got the clips, baby. I just don't be out here just talking, yip-yapping, and jaw-jacking, okay? So if Trump manages to get us back to paper ballots and make sure our elections are 100% secure and safe, Democrats are doomed. Another thing that Uncle Trump is trying to do will most definitely be the downfall of the Democrat Party, because most voting people, fall under this. Check it out.
What they said is there's going to be these price shocks. You're right. So year one is difficult, okay? But it could raise upwards of $750 billion a year, okay?
You're saying tariffs.
Tariffs. What they said that they would do is they would then turn around and cut the federal
income tax.
Yeah. For anybody making $150,000 or less to zero.
So what they're doing is using the tariffs to offset the price shock.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't.
But and this is the math, and that hasn't been 100% established yet. But instead of like putting the burden on the American consumer, we put the burden on the foreign country to pay that delta,
and then effectively subsidize the consumer through an income tax.
To be fair, the $750 billion, I assume, that's assuming everybody pays the tariff fully.
Okay, so this is an important point. I would say right now it's a moving target, meaning the sharps before Liberation Day, the smart money line was at like 250 billion. Okay. That's Wall Street. I mean, we'll put smart in quotes, but that was their number. And part of why the stock market went berserk was they just got it totally wrong. And the back of the envelope math that I did and that a couple of my friends did, and I would say they're much smarter than I am, they got to 750. I got to 750 as well. Howard Lutnick, who's a commerce secretary, said like anywhere approaching 750, we have a line of sight to be able to cut income taxes to zero for anybody making 150 or less.
Whew. Yeah, that'd be great.
I mean,
so we're in the magic zone here, guys.
So here's
you know what I mean?
So there's a perfect example. Like, there's all this conversation about the midterms right now. Trump tanks the stock market. People get screwed over by what some people calling inflation, but like the price shock. But if you announce at the end of the year there's a $750 billion surplus because of taxes, and we're eradicating income tax for people making under $150,000. Midterms are going red.
I mean, bro, forget midterms. They'll want Trump for the third term.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
1,000%. Democrats are cooked. Like I said, those two things alone: Trump securing the election, right? Making sure it's safe and secure, and no tax for people who make $150,000 or less. That is basically everybody who votes. That's all of us. 150K or less. That is just about everybody who votes. Democrats are absolutely cooked. Will some people still vote Democrat? Absolutely. There's some... Anyway, I'm going to be nice here. Will some people still vote for the Democrat Party? Sure. But the numbers are going to be really low. Really low. Those two things are going to be not to mention, no tax on Social Security, no tax on tips. We ain't even touched on that, right? You can throw that to the side. That's just like a little cherry on top. That's dessert after the main course, right? We ain't even discussing that, even though that bill's already passed the House, I believe. When was that? Yesterday, a couple days ago. Moving on to the Senate due to Republicans. So we can set that to the side. Just those two things alone, Democrats are cooked. And then if you want to bring that back in, yes, they are done. Donezo. Done. I don't see them winning again for a very, very long time. A very, very long time. They don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance at all. So hopefully he succeeds. I believe he will. Will it be easy? No, Democrats are going to fight the whole way. And that also tells me that we're on the right path. The fact that Democrat politicians are making up a bunch of hoopla every time Trump does anything. Have you guys noticed? And I'm going to let you guys get out of here. Every time Trump does anything, makes any type of decision, like it's all doom and gloom. Oh my goodness, he's going to destroy everything. Oh my goodness, it's just all doom and gloom. Every time, it's all panic. Every time. Like the price of eggs, you remember they were panicking over that, but now the price of eggs is down and they just don't want to talk about it anymore. Or inflation, the rate of inflation, how they were like, oh my goodness, inflation is going to be this. But actually inflation is dropping. CNN had to admit it, and it looked like they didn't want to admit it on live air. But now Democrat politicians don't want to talk about inflation. Like they just don't want to mention it at all because they realize, oh, Trump's actually doing what he said he was going to do. He's dropping inflation. Oh, crap. Exactly. It's all BS from the Democrat Party. But anyway, thanks for tuning in as always. Y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions on this. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. Peace and love. I'm out.